Alright, so in this episode of videos, we're going to work on splicing, photo splicing, I guess is what you would call it maybe. I'm going to take this image and we're going to get rid of his legs by using pieces of this image. Or we could do vice versa, either way. I think I'm going to go, we're going to remove his legs on this one because I like her face better in this one. So we're going to splice out a section of this image and put it into this image, and I guess and kind of glue it down so that it all becomes one image, and we can go from there. So I'm going to make this my base image since I love her face in this one. So I'm going to go over here, and you can tell by the images I try not to use move much between taking the two pictures, between him moving from camera left to camera right. But there is some movement. They're not exactly the same because I'm not on a tripod when I'm taking these images. So we'll just have to kind of play with them and go from there. So we're going to come over to the image that we're not using right now, and we're going to grab a selection tool. The images are in the exact same spot, so there's not a whole lot. I don't need to get really detailed in my selection. So I'm just going to grab the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm going to grab this whole side of this image, just like that. And I'm going to Control C, just as if you were copying and pasting it on an email. And I'm going to come over to the image that I want to add it on and Control V, add it. Now we're going to put it into place where we want it. So if I put it right where it was on the other image, it doesn't line up. It's not going to work that way. So what I want to try to do is get it in the same spot as best as I can as the wall that's already there, kind of match it up. And to do that, I'm going to come over to my layers, and I'm going to lower the opacity on it so I can get an idea of where the wall is on the original image and how to line that up with the portion that I have. And this one's actually going to be pretty simple because it will line up pretty well. So I'm in the same spot. You can kind of see my line right there on the sidewalk is going to match up pretty well. But I'm going to just play with the dimensions of what I have here to try to get it to line up. And I think we're checking the line right here. We're checking the cement line here. Checking kind of the tree line here, and just to see where we're at with that. Now you shouldn't have to do too much more, but I want to see, yeah. We're just playing around with it and just making sure that we're having the lines even up as we go. But I think right there is about where I'm going to want it. As you can see, it doesn't cover the top here. It doesn't cover his shirt, but that's okay. We'll work on that. So I'm going to take my opacity all the way back up to 100%. I'm going to go ahead and hit my check mark up here, and that's going to put it where it was at. Okay, so now we have that piece spliced in, and as you can see, it's not too bad. We've got a little bit of a waviness here, which does obviously indicate that we've compromised the image. This back here looks good, although we do have a line because there is some variation in colors. Lighting outside changes really quickly, and if I'm tilted one way or more than the other between the two images, it will change the way the light hits the lens, which is what's happened here. But it's really super easy to fix. So I'm going to go and double tap on the hand over here just to give us the full image that we can play with. Alright, now I'm going to grab this patch tool over here, and I'm going to use that to, before I do that, I need to go ahead and flatten the image so that I can play with it more. And you can do that by right-clicking and going down to flatten image, or you can do Control, I believe on a PC it's Control-Shift-E. It's been a while since I used a PC though, so excuse me if that's not right. And I'm going to start circling these areas that have that line through them. And then just try to kind of brush those out. This is just what's easy for me. It's not what everybody else does. I'm sure a lot of people use the cloning tool or whatnot to make that happen. This is just what works for me. And I'm going to actually go and backtrack. There is right here, there's some line, there's some discoloration in the cement, and I'm going to try to keep that as much lined up as possible just to keep it looking more natural and it doesn't break that up as much. Okay, so now we've gotten rid of that line that went vertical through there. And we're going to go back over here. We don't want any of these discoloration spots, and we try to get rid of this line over here, which looks pretty good. And then I'm going to have to grab my clone tool over here and make my brush just a little bit bigger by right-clicking. I'm going to Alt and then brush over where his shirt is and just clone from underneath it and get rid of him. So now he's gone. I've got my wall in there. I've got my sidewalk that's lined up pretty well. We've got a little bit right here that's not, you can kind of still see the line there if you look really, really closely. I don't think a client's going to notice that just because they're not going to be zoomed in, but I'm going to go and use this cloning brush and just kind of brush through that and get rid of it pretty well there. I'm going to also use my cloning brush down here and try to even out that line a little bit. And I'm just tapping all along the way and just to kind of get rid of that and just brush this out and even out that cement right there. So it looks a lot more straight now by using the cloning brush just to clean up some more. I didn't want that bump in there because I didn't want it to be, you know, obvious that I had cloned or spliced in another image. So there we have it. We have this whole side spliced in. You look at it here, we've got a nice sun flare coming in from camera right. It looks nice, looks natural. It looks the way it's supposed to be. Obviously, that's the way it was in the image. We're going to go ahead and just grab our patch tool over here. We're just going to heal it up. Circle up these twigs that are laying all about that are an eyesore. It's natural. They're normal. They're on the sidewalk in a park. There's nothing wrong with that. I should have maybe removed them at the time. I wasn't really worried about it though because with little ones, you want to try to move as fast as possible because they do get tired out quickly. And so I know that in post-production I can go in and just circle it and swipe it away. So I've cleaned up this whole area that she's got around her. We've removed Dad. She stayed safe during our shoot. And the image is now complete. And we've successfully spliced. Let's see, we've got some time. So I am going to go over here real quick. This is a trash can. And I don't know about you, but I really don't want trash cans in my images too much. So I'm going to take that cloning tool. And I'm going to just kind of pick up this spot right here. Actually, just right next to it. Right there. And I'm just going to kind of clone brush this away. And then just clean up a little bit along the way. Once you're using your clone brush, you can kind of see that you'll get like repetitive. I mean, obviously you're cloning, so you're going to have repetition in the image. But if you just kind of work at it a little bit, you can get rid of that whole thing. This is just a bench. I'm going to leave that because there's nothing wrong with having a park bench in the back. That's fine. I like having that street light there. Everything else looks good. There's no people in the background to have to worry about. We've cleaned up here. We've spiced out Dad. Tree looks good. Everything looks natural. She is so stinking adorable. And now I can go on with editing the rest of the image with sharpening and coloring. She's got a little pink in her face. I can work on that. But yeah, the image is ready to now just make some color adjustments and it's good to go.